what do you do for shoulder issues? How do you test?
First thing I would test is the arm across shoulder. This is to see if there's a positive test for shoulder impingement. So I will get the client to raise up to see if there's pain. So usually if there's like a discomfort or pain, then there is shoulder impingement. So I'll test on both sides so the client will know the difference. The second thing I'll test is the painful arc. So the client would raise up, arm in neutral and raise up, and see if there's any pain in this movement. So if there's pain at this movement below the horizontal, it means it's more rotator cuff. Anything above 90 degrees is more AC joint. And usually if the client is raising up arms, usually I'll get the client to test on both sides. If it's testing on both sides, usually you'll see one shoulder hiking up compared to the other side. Then you know that there is some dysfunction of the rotator cuff as well. So these are some of the tests which I use. Of course there are other tests, but these are the common ones.
Then what would be some of the treatment you would do for someone with shoulder issues?
What I usually work on is I will work on the compensatory muscles. So there are a few compensatory muscles, but the main ones are the pec minor and the traps. So I will usually work on these two first. Then I would also, of course, work on the subscap as well as the teres major. So sometimes I'll work on the lats as well, because these are the major muscles of what we call the global musculature of the rotator cuff. Because these are the ones that will compensate for a weak rotator cuff. So I'll work on all this.
Okay. Yirang, may I trouble you to turn around so Aldrin can point out again which are the muscles at the back?
So I'll work on, for example, I'll work on the traps. I'll work on the pec minor in the front. I'll work on the subscap, which is underneath. It is just in front on the anterior portion of the shoulder blade, and of course the teres major, which is right next to it over here. You can feel it right there. Yeah. So I would never work. Usually, I would never work on the teres minor. Of course, a lot of people will feel pain in the teres minor, which is this muscle here, whenever there's a shoulder problem, or even if there's no shoulder problem, you will feel an ache. But usually the ache is worse when there's a shoulder problem. Why? Because this is more like a thermostat. So if I shut off the thermostat and I don't work on the problem will still be there. Yeah.
Would you say sedentary people get this more, or active people get this more?
Sedentary people usually is because of sitting. Usually their shoulders are rounded. So when that happens, there's an elevation of the shoulder joint, and the protraction of the rotator cuff forward and elevated results in a closing up of the acromial gap over here. And a lot of times when they're working, sometimes they raise their arms up. You can see in the rounded position, raise the arms up, it will hit, that AC joint will hit on the supraspinatus, causing it to fray. So many times, especially for people above the age of 40 or 45 and above, the incidences of rotator cuff tears increases because of this sedentary lifestyle and repeated overhead movements when their shoulder is not in ideal position.
Earlier you showed us shoulder issues, so what are some of the exercises people with shoulder issues can do?
Well, the main function of the exercise is to get the shoulder back to ideal position. So I will do exercises which are for the scapula to depress and retract. So scapular retraction and depression. So the first thing I will do is I will call this exercise the flutters. So I'll teach the client the flutters. So the first thing will be at 90 degrees. So, and I will lift up and try to get the scapula to retract. So get the scapula as close to one as possible. And of course, you got to also tell the client not to activate the traps. Otherwise, the traps can be involved. So you got to watch for this. So I would tell the client to have the shoulders away from the ears as much as possible. So you lift up. Okay, an important thing to take note is that the forearms has to be parallel to the ground. A lot of times they will try to lift up like that, where the elbow is higher than the wrist. So it has to be parallel so that you get the full activation of the rotator cuff as well as the scapular retraction. Okay, the next exercise I will do is this as well. So the next one is up. So just lift up. So this is more pure scapular retraction. And then next I will work on activating the lower traps, because lower traps here. So in the Y position, I will lift up, scapular retraction as well. So and a little bit of a depression because of the work of the lower traps. So I'll hold each position about 5 seconds, about 5 reps of 5 seconds. Yeah. So this is just one of the exercises that I will use for helping with shoulder strength as well as stability. So the next one I will do, this is a little bit more advanced. I will do the scarecrow, so both hands up, and I will reach forward and then back without the elbows lifting up, because a lot of times the elbows want to lift up, but you have to cue the client not to do it. So you can go forward, forearms parallel to the ground, and come back. So this really works on the scapular rhythm as well as the retraction and depression of the scapula.
Thank you.